All right. Question number 5. Fanta, I'm going back to you first in this one again, because it is a Big East team. It is Creighton. Are you buying or selling the Blue Jays as a national title contender?
I am selling them as a national title contender. I think that they are a really, really, really good team. But to me, they're closer to Elite 8, Sweet 16 than national championship game. And that doesn't mean that they can't grow into a national championship caliber team. But I do think that as a result of their March run to the Big East championship game, and then a game against San Diego State, I don't like hypotheticals. I hate them. But guys, if you watched any part of that game, San Diego State had that game in the bag. They should have won that game. As a result of Creighton winning, they come back and win the game, and then giving Kansas a terrific test, down multiple guys that are now coming back from injury. And it's good to hear that Ryan Kalkbrenner and Ryan Nembhard are both cleared for all basketball activities. Wow. They're both good to go. So those injuries are not going to impact Creighton into this season. They're working right now. That being said, Ryan Hawkins did so many things for that Creighton team last year that I don't even think got accounted for. And as much as Baylor Shireman coming in makes a big difference, let's keep in mind here that as good of a player as Baylor Shireman was, it's still a transition going into the Big East for night in, night out play, going into a power conference. So I think this comes down to if Trey Alexander and Ryan Nembhard can really make the spurts, because Alexander, he didn't play his best basketball until Nembhard went down with the injury at the end of the season. If these two guys
I'm going to push back on that one real quick, because Trey Alexander, what he was I talked to McDermott last week, and this is a direct quote. He said, Trey Alexander was our best freshman defender that we've ever had. Right. And that includes Kyrie Thomas, who was a 2-time defensive player of the year in the Big East.
Sure.
Trey Alexander showed what he could be when they put him on the ball, and he didn't mess everything up when he was the only point guard left on the roster. I will say this. The reason why I am buying them as a national title contender is twofold. One, they were an elite defensive team last year. The reason they were an elite defensive team is because Ryan Kalkbrenner anchored everything. You want a stat? I got a stat for you two guys. Ryan Kalkbrenner, 34 games played last season. He averaged 30 minutes a game, picked up 4 fouls once, picked up 3 fouls 3 other times. Didn't foul out of a game. He is the best big guy when it comes to not fouling as a rim protector. That's despite the fact that Creighton funneled everything towards him at the rim. 2, there's no way that they could possibly be as bad 3-point shooting as they were last year. Arthur Kaluma shot 26% from 3 last season. I think we can all agree he's better than a 26% 3-point shooter. I think bringing in Baylor Shireman, who McDermott told me is basically Mitchell Ballack, but a better passer. You bring in a guy like that to help create some space. And all of a sudden you have sophomore year Trey Alexander, sophomore year Ryan Nembhard, their ability to get in there, create space, run ball screens. You got the rim runner at Ryan Kalkbrenner. You got a shooter in the corner on either side. And all of a sudden that lineup becomes much more dangerous. You are exactly right about Ryan Hawkins, Fanta. I will say this as well. I think that when you get these guys, 1, learning from AOC and Ryan Hawkins, and 2, becoming sophomores, I think that they will be better. T.O., you got 30 seconds. Give me your take on Creighton.
That's an expensive Mitch Ballack. That's a really expensive.
Great point.
That's a really expensive Mitch Ballack. I think they're going to be very good. I think they're a second weekend team. I love what Fanta said about that. Kalkbrenner, I can't remember what the situation. Why can't with the injury? Just because I'm having a brain fart. Was it a knee or a foot? I can't remember.
Went down with an ankle.
That's right. Okay, yeah. So glad he's back. He's obviously a huge piece. They're talented. They can score all over the place. Top end talent. Trey Alexander's going to have to make that next one. There you go. I like Trey Alexander. I thought he got that opportunity when Nembhard went down. That is going to benefit them greatly this year because it gives them multiple ball handlers. And then Reti Andronikashvili, I thought he was pretty good in spurts. You can bring him in. He's a dog defender. And then you can put Alexander both on the ball and off the ball. They're going to have multiple playmakers, and they're going to shoot it better, like you said.
But quickly, bear in mind, different role being hunter versus hunted. Last year, they were totally off the map. They snuck up on teams late in the year. Now they are the clear front runner in the Big East. All eyes are on Creighton. The expectation is they will win the Big East. That is the expectation. I think that's a different role for this team. I like them. I don't love them on the playing a national championship game.
Hey, speaking of which, didn't you say UConn was a favorite in one of your tweets, Doster?
No, I said UConn was a potential top 25 team. I said that Creighton was the favorite to win the Big East.
Okay. Don't try to get after him in June on UConn stuff quite yet.
Yeah,
I mean, it's a little early for that.
What I did say is that it's ridiculous to think that Tristan Newton, who is the only player in college basketball last season to average 17.7 points, 4.8 boards, 5.0 assists, and shoot better than 33% from three, the only player in college basketball to do it, to call him not one of the 25 best transfers and not even mention him as a potential. He was called not one of the best 35 transfers in all of college basketball by one Gregory Waddell. That is a crime against humanity.